Hi class! Our presentation is going to be on raising money for causes. This presentation is by Michaela Salcida, Ruben Lopez, Cody Norman, and Melinda Delwicious. We will be going over 4 different perspectives regarding raising money for nonprofits and supporting buy one get one brands. Why is this a passion project for us? Many of us on our team actually volunteer or serve our community in some way through raising money for charity or volunteering for other causes. Let's take a look at what the numbers say. 75% of millennials and Gen Z will pay more for a product and services that give back to society. 78% of Americans believe that companies have a responsibility to have a positive impact in society. And 77% have a stronger emotional connection to companies which they see to be driven by social purpose.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm going to be talking about the positive ethical benefits of nonprofits. The organization that I will be focusing on is World Central Kitchen. They are a charity that focuses on donating warm meals to individuals who do not have access to them, and since COVID started, they have focused on helping small restaurants who are struggling to stay open do that. So they've been making donations or helping in whatever ways they can. The impact that they have on society is since 2010, when they first started, they have a donation percentage of around 90%. So what that means is every $100 that is getting donated to this charity, that means $90 would be actually converted into warm meals or helping restaurants, and the other 10 is what is taken by the company, which is actually a very good percentage for nonprofits. Since 2010, when they opened, they have donated around 35 million meals in over 400 cities, focusing in LA County and New York County, where COVID has been the most severe and the most detrimental. So is this charity ethical? I would say it definitely is ethical with their donation percentage of around 90%. That's a lot. A lot of the other charities you don't see with that high of a percentage. And I would also say it's ethical because it's a chance for individuals to donate and help out people that they don't have to necessarily have an actual connection to. So you can just donate however much money and you know that it's going to actually go help somebody who's in need and actually going to have a good benefit for somebody. So I would definitely say this is ethical.
Hi class, my name is Michaela and I'll be talking to you about the ethical dilemmas that many nonprofits face. Our first point is that there's no way for any donations to truly be able to filter out from if they're tainted money or from donors with possible conflicts of interest. For instance, there have been occasions where people who donate, for instance, to charities that are to save the animals are avid hunters and go on safari, and that is a major conflict of interest for these charities, not only in their goal, but also for many of their other donors. That creates a ripple effect for many not having trust in where the money and how the money is being used. The next point is compensation. Many of these organizations, while they mean well, have no true standard for their compensation. While they'll never turn down a dollar, once the money that they have allotted for fundraising and administrative costs have been spent, that extra money that is brought in that was not allotted for the cause can typically be misused and mishandled in major fundraising events and administrative bonuses and checks that they maybe weren't planning to cash. The next point is privacy for the donor. There are many times when you give your information with a donation to a charity in the hopes and chances that their cause will get more outreach. They then sell that list of names, phone numbers, email addresses, mailing addresses to charities of a similar nature. And because of that, you as the donor have no way to control who and what organizations are utilizing your information to send out mailers or points of contact. The next point is honesty, and to me this is the biggest ethical issue that many face. Even from the internal point of view, from employees that work for nonprofits have stated that they have seen unethical practices happen in the workplace and that they either have no or do not follow any true ethical standard for how they work and how they spend money and what they do. The last point is the effect on the public. The last point we wanted to bring up was the effect on the public. Many in the public have the opinion that the money that they donate will never see the true cause that they're donating for. Though it's easy to pull out whatever spare change you have and bills you have in your hand as you walk out of the grocery store to donate, many believe that the money they will spend will never be put to good use. A case we wanted to bring to your attention was one for Feed the Children. Many of you might remember the infomercials that played in late night television where they'd show children in third world impoverished countries waiting to just be fed. Then steps in a charity called Feed the Children. And for nearly 3 decades, the president of Feed the Children, Larry Jones, got away with over a dozen unethical practices, starting out with tapping his employees' phone calls, to spying on them and their communications overall. He and his son helped steal over $950,000 of their donations just to waste. They wasted donation money on lavish parties and gifts. He even blackmailed a newspaper that was ready to report everything he was doing. Tried to bribe editors and put shit all under the mat. When that eventually started to dry up, he was trying to install a new board that would keep him in power when he heard word that he was out. When that didn't happen, after 3 decades of being in control and stealing, creating an unethical standard of work, and truly diminishing the trust people had built up for his charity, he was eventually fired. That was the end of the repercussions for him. He had no money left over, and that was the only consequence he faced.
Good evening, class. My name is Ruben Lopez, and tonight I'll be speaking briefly on the eyewear company Warby Parker. Warby Parker was founded in 2010 by Neil Blumenthal and Dave Gilboa, who at the time were 2 broke grad students who were frustrated with the high price of prescription eyewear. They set out to build a company that offered quality eyewear that was inexpensive and manufactured in an environmentally responsible fashion. As a result, Warby Parker was born. The company operates with 2 goals. First one is to offer an alternative to overpriced eyewear that's available to everyone, and the second is to build a company that can solve problems as opposed to create them. Through their partnerships with Vision Spring and Pupils Project, Warby Parker has been able to accomplish this mission. Since its humble beginnings, Warby Parker has partnered with Vision Spring to provide low-cost and no-cost prescription eyewear to those in need, thus fulfilling their motto, buy a pair, give a pair. Through its work, Vision Spring has been able to supply close to 7 million pairs of glasses, reached over 24 countries, and a landmark study published by the Lancet Global Health in 2018 showed a 32% increase in productivity to the sample field and has had an economic impact of over $1.4 billion. In 2015, Warby Parker extended its efforts in supplying those in need with eyewear, specifically children, and began Pupils Project, which serves the cities of New York and Baltimore. To date, Pupils Project has screened over 220,000 school-aged children, provided over 64,000 eye exams, and given over 54,000 pair of prescription reading glasses. Currently, Johns Hopkins University is conducting a study to measure the effects of corrective eyewear and reading scores in school-aged children in inner-city schools. Having donated over 7 million pairs of prescription eyeglasses in over 50 countries, Warby Parker is standing by its word when it says buy a pair, give a pair. Is Warby Parker a moral or ethical company? Well, utilitarianism, as described by the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, describes utilitarianism as doing the most amount of good for the most amount of people. It's clear that Warby Parker, through their buy one, give one philosophy, has provided millions of prescription eyeglasses for free of cost to those that are in need. Not only that, in their normal business dealings, they provide high quality prescription eyewear at a very low cost. And they do so by being environmentally friendly, being carbon neutral. Warby Parker believes that everyone has the right to see. And as we have seen, they stand behind their word.
Hi, I'm Melinda, and I'm going to be talking about the unethical effects of buy one, get one products and brands. A common misconception is that these buy one get one products are doing good in these communities that they donate to. However, they do not address the underlying issues of poverty that often lie in the infrastructure within these communities, so they are really only providing temporary fixes. A couple flaws worth mentioning with the buy one get one model is that they can actually cause harm to local businesses. For instance, when Tom donates shoes to a local community in a third world country, they could actually be putting a local shoe cobbler out of business. They also cause dependency. Those communities end up depending on these charitable needs versus actually finding a way to solve the problems themselves. It also is only a temporary fix. As previously mentioned, it does not solve long-term issues or improve infrastructure that is the cause of the issue. What I find unethical about the BOGO model is that consumers are purchasing products and supporting these brands under the guise that they are creating a sustainable impact for these communities of need. Some other companies have recognized this and know that they need to create a bigger impact that will actually sustain the change that these communities need.
Now, we did want to share with you guys some ways to help combat a wasted donation. There's many things you as a donor can do. For one, we can start by making the charities that we donate accountable for what they do with the money we donate. Look into them. Look and see how they share with their financial information with their donors. They all should. Most of them should have transparency in their financial statements. Also, just know before you donate. Check out sites like Charity Watch and Charity Navigator, and if you still are lost, just Google it. Taking some time to really put in a little effort in the donations that you make can help make a big difference to those in need.